The 5.5 inches display would seem to be the only feature linking these two devices, apparently so different. But really there's much more than that. Which one should you pick? Follow along and find out in this LG G3 vs iPhone 6 Plus. Let's begin with the most obvious observation possible. These are two big phones. They both sport a 5.5 inches display, but they are by no means close in footprint. The 6 Plus is much taller, slightly larger and a tad thinner than the G3. All of these three are by now expected from Apple, which has always released thinner and taller phones year after year. What's surprising though is how compact the G3 feels for a device of its size, being actually closer in size to the iPhone 6 rather than the 6 Plus. This is also due to the extremely thin bezels, which are made possible by this unconventional button placement. Apple, on the other hand, was much more conservative in this sense, keeping the same old button placement with just the power button moved on the side, and also the same old great build quality. The G3 is by no means badly built, it just delivers a less premium feeling in the hand. As for comfort and portability, however, this is a clear win for the G3. Specs maniacs are probably going to give this to the G3 right away, but the question is actually a little more complicated. Yes, the G3 has a Quad HD display, and yes, it's a tad sharper for some uses, but that is not at all that noticeable in everyday life. The iPhone 6 Plus has one of the best displays out there. It's big, it is bright, it is vivid, it has splendid viewing angles, I seriously can find no flaws about it. Would I still pick the G3 screen? Yes, but the difference is smaller than one might think. iPhones have always had exceptional cameras, both on the hardware and the software side. They have never shined in the megapixels count, but this has not prevented the iPhone from being the most used camera in the world, and rightly so. Photos are vivid and sharp, and autofocus in video mode is satisfyingly fast. The camera app is also one of my personal favorites, with every option just a couple of slides away, and a simple and clear interface to preview your work. The iPhone 6 Plus is also one of the few smartphones capable of 240 frames per second videos, for a super slow motion that has no competitors. On the other hand, the G3 is still amongst the top 5 Android cameras. It sports a 13 megapixel sensor supported by a dual LED flash, optical image stabilization and laser autofocus. To complete the package, you'll also find 120p slow-mo in video mode and 4K video recording. Saying which one is better is really hard, but I'll give the 6 Plus a slight edge because of the better camera viewer and editing capabilities. Android and iOS are as far as two operating systems can get. For more on that, we'll have a link to our iOS vs Android video right below. As for the G3 and 6 Plus specifically, they both feel like wasted occasions in some way. On one hand, the 6 Plus has one of the most mature and reliable softwares on the market, but Apple wasn't able to make the most out of such a big display, and that's a pity, as the 6 Plus ends up with looking just like a blown up iPhone 6, and it is much more than that. On the other hand, LG's UI is not as clean and as responsive as stock Android is. It is no TouchWiz, that's clear, but I feel like having a more stock version of Android would have given it an edge over the competition. Nevertheless, both devices perform like beasts. Everyday tasks are a joke for both the G3 and 6 Plus, but more demanding ones are also handled really well by both. Which one's faster? The G3 has better specs on paper, but the 6 Plus does feel more responsive in everyday usage. One great advantage with big phones is that they carry big batteries, and these two are no exception. The 2090 mAh battery found on the 6 Plus is a tad smaller than the 3000 one on the G3, but you're likely not to notice. In fact, also due to its worse software optimization and its higher resolution display, the G3 will probably last less than 6 Plus, given the same usage on both sides. On the G3's side, however, you'll find the built-in QI wireless charging and the removable battery, just in case you wanted to swap a new one in. It's just your preference here to tell which one is better for you. So in the end, which one should you pick? On one hand, the G3 is a solid Android device that will offer you a great display, a great camera, and the phablet experience in a body that does not feel like a phablet. On the other, the 6 Plus is the big, premium phone that you've come to expect from Apple in 2015, with great performances and great hardware to support it. Neither of the two will disappoint you, but my personal preference lies in the G3 for software reasons. So that was it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, feel free to leave us a thumbs up right below. Thank you so much for watching. This was Joe from Nerd Herd, and I'll catch you in the next one.